It travels to Belgium now on BBC Two to find out how Antwerp got its name.
Zig Zag! Zig Zag!
Power jet transmission set. Oh! Oh! Dear, dear, dear. I've got a head like a haggis this morning. What's the time? The big hand's on 8 and the little hand's on 1:15. Oh, come on, Molly. Time to get on with Project Europe. Oh, hang on. Where am I? I know I parked the mole last night before turning in, but I can't for the life of me remember where I'd got to. Perhaps the radio will give me a clue.
Daar moet je moeite voor doen, daar moet je zoeken. Als je wilt dat er kinderen zijn, dan moet je die kinderen zoeken.
I don't recognize that language. I'll have to check it out on the navigation. Now where are we? Of course, Belgium. There it is. Just across the channel from England and just below the Netherlands. Right, Molly, on with the day's business. Esperanto. Wakey, wakey! Before we get stuck in and see what's what, I think a spot of breakfast is in order. The Belgian flag, black, yellow and red, for a Belgian croissant and a Belgian waffle. Oh, this should get me going. And before I get stuck in, you can have a look at where we've got to. The port of Antwerp. And now to beam in my satellite camera for some aerial film. Like a lot of cities, Antwerp is near to a river. It's called the River Scheldt, and it flows straight into the North Sea. This makes it into a very popular place because it's a port, a place where ships sail in and out, bringing visitors on ferries and taking tourists out to other countries. A lot of the ships are also bringing goods into the port or taking things out to sell to the rest of the world. It's always good for trade to be close to a port, especially such a busy one as this one. As you can see from these old photos, it's always been busy. Ships sailing in from other countries all over Europe and the rest of the world, sailing up the River Scheldt and into the port of Antwerp. The story of Antwerp is all tied up with the symbol of the hand that you can see in the city's coat of arms. And if you look around in the city, you can find hands everywhere, on flags, posts, and sometimes in some unusual places. Hands are obviously very important around here. The story of the hand is a strange one. And these children from a Belgian primary school are working on ways of telling the story. They're going to tell the story through animation, which means getting still pictures to look as though they're moving. They have to draw out the story, each of them working on one little bit. Here's one of their very first attempts. Now they're going to have a go at something a lot more difficult. They're going to try and make a scene with several things moving all at the same time. Here's how they do it. They film the picture for a very short while, then they move things in the picture only very slightly, then they film the picture again. And again. It takes a lot of patience to keep on doing this. Clever, eh? But if you thought that was good, take a look at what this lot are doing. These are professionals working on the same story. Just like the children, they all have to work together, each of them working on a little bit of the whole thing. They have to make drawings of all the places where the story takes place. In the port, or outside the castle, or in the marketplace. All these have to be carefully drawn. And they've chosen music to go with the story. Some of them are practicing. This is the princess who plays a big part in the story you're going to see. One of the group draws her, and another person adds the colours to her. And here's someone working out how they can make someone trip over. And finally, there's just sound effects to add. And it's nearly ready, the story of how Antwerp got its name. Okay, what's in a name? Why do places get given a particular name? What about Newcastle? Where do you think that got its name from? A new castle, obviously. And Cambridge? Cambridge was where there was a bridge across the river Cam. And Oxford? You want a clue? An ox is a big cow, and a ford is where a river is shallow and you can cross. Oxford was where the cows used to cross the river. So what's all this got to do with Antwerp? Well, in Belgium, ant means hand, and werp means throne. The place of the throne hand. A strange tale is about to unfold. With my right hand. There was once a king who had 3 daughters. One so beautiful and 2 so greedy. They lived in a fine town where ships arrived every day. One day, a tough Viking sailed up to the town. He strolled around the town, meeting all the friendly inhabitants. And had a close encounter of the woolly kind with some sheep on their way to market. He decided to go to the market too, but without his new friends. Ha! That's fishy. Oh, rosy apples. Snap! The princess and the Viking both had their eye on the same apple. But the two greedy sisters both had their eye on the Viking. Oh dear. The two greedy sisters marched the Viking into the palace. They cradled him and cooed over him and kissed him. But the Viking, he was just knocked out by the princess. Who took him straight to her father. I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him, yum, yum, yum. And so the king welcomed the Viking and he stayed on in the palace. Dream days for the Viking and the beautiful princess. Dog days for the two greedy sisters. And paddling days for the dog. Early one morning, a carrier pigeon flew into the palace. He brought the Viking a letter from his elder brother. Our father is very ill. Come home. And so the Viking headed north. And at last he got home. The old king gave one last yell and died with his family round his bedside. His body was laid in the bows of a ship. Away it sailed, cradled in flames. It disappeared far out, far off, somewhere between the waves and the heavens. The Viking's brother became king. Right, he said. We're Vikings, so let's sail south and find a nice town to raid. What about this one? Oh, no, said the Viking. Oh, what about this one? No, said his brother. I said this one, and I mean this one. So they fought and they quarrelled until the old councillor parted them. Race to the town, he said. Race to the town walls. Whoever is the first to touch the walls of the town with his right hand will be the one to decide whether it is attacked or not. And so they were off. Drums rolled, oars raced, and the two ships set off across the wide and wild North Sea. Side by side they sailed south. Side by side they raced towards the fine town. Faster and faster! And in the town, almost everyone was awake. The Viking reached the jetty just before his brother. On your marks! The dog! Watch out! Ah! Only one thing for it. He chopped his hand off and hurled it at the town walls. Oh no, not now! High, wide and handsome it flew through the air. And he beat his brother to the touch. The Viking put a ring on the princess's finger, and the princess so loved the Viking that his hand and wrist locked together again. And in honor of the Viking, the town by the river was named Antwerp, Handwerpen. Yes, the thrown hand. Ooh. How about that Esperanto, eh?
Quite incredible.
Quite incredible. Well, I agree. But it's a gripping story, isn't it? And here's the interesting bit. Antwerp is the only Belgian town that wasn't attacked by the Vikings. So maybe there is something in the story after all. Makes you think, eh? Time we were going. See you next week. I do waving. I do waving. Yes, I know, but you're only a bear. You don't do waving.
Teacher's notes for Zig Zag and a Tales from Europe book